Labour MP becomes first to break ranks and call for Keir Starmer to be replaced by Andy Burnham as Prime Minister. Labour's Clive Lewis has become the first MP to call for Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer to be replaced by Andy Burnham. Speaking to Channel 4 on Friday night, Mr. Lewis said the Labour Party must put country before party and boot out Starmer in favour of the current mayor of Greater Manchester. The MP for Norwich South broke ranks from the rest of his party for the first time in September, when he called for the Prime Minister to stand down. But last night, he became the first to actively endorse leadership rival Mr. Burnham, in a week in which a briefing to journalists put the Prime Minister in a precarious position ahead of this month's budget. Mr. Clive said, "We need to do what the Prime Minister once said, which is put country before party. And frankly, party before personal ambition. I just don't see how this can stagger on without any kind of resolution on the horizon. And I think the Labour Party, the Labour grandees, the men in grey suits now really seriously think, how can we get Andy Burnham back into this parliamentary Labour Party and let him step up and become the next Prime Minister? That's my personal view. I know it won't be shared by everyone, but I don't see many other options." Andy Burnham has not commented on Mr. Lewis's remarks. It comes after Mr. Lewis first called for Starmer to go on September 12th, the day after former U.S. Ambassador Lord Peter Mandelson was sacked over his friendship with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. He told the BBC's The Week in Westminster program at the time, "You see a Labour Prime Minister who feels that he's lost control within the first year. This isn't navel-gazing. This is me thinking about my constituents, this country, and the fact that the person who is 8 points ahead of U.S. is Nigel Farage. That terrifies me. It terrifies my constituents, and it terrifies a lot of people in this country. We don't have the luxury of carrying on this way with someone who I think increasingly, I'm sorry to say, just doesn't seem up to the job." Mr. Lewis cemented his position as a troublemaker for the government with his comments yesterday, which came at a particularly challenging moment for Starmer following a toxic briefing to journalists. In what appeared to be an effort to help shore up the Prime Minister's position, Number 10 briefed journalists that he would strongly fight back against any attempt to oust him and criticize cabinet ministers, including the Health Secretary Wes Streeting, for allegedly making moves to mount a leadership challenge. But it completely backfired, with the briefing making front-page news across British media, and instead gave the impression Starmer does not have control of his Downing Street staff. Starmer claimed after the fact he did not authorize any briefing himself, and many MPs were quick to point the finger at his unpopular Chief of Staff Morgan McSweeney. The Prime Minister cleared Mr. McSweeney of involvement, but has not stopped disgruntled MPs clamoring for the Chief of Staff to go. Meanwhile, Health Secretary Streeting denied any plot to unseat his party leader and accused those behind the anonymous briefing as having watched too much Celebrity Traders. The Prime Minister has since phoned Mr. Streeting to apologize. It is understood. The row has left Starmer once again facing speculation on whether he will make it to the next election as Labour leader, with Mr. Burnham's name cropping up likely to be another blow. Mr. Burnham was previously accused of angling for the top job in the days leading up to the Labour Party conference earlier in the autumn. The Manchester Mayor, who twice failed to be elected leader of the party when he was an MP, accused Sir Keir of leading Labour into a mood of alienation and demoralization since entering Number 10. He said he'd been approached by MPs who wanted him to mount a leadership challenge and outlined his own tax and spend manifesto that included £40 billion of borrowing to fund nationalising house building. It prompted a huge backlash from ministers who pointed out his term as Manchester Mayor runs until 2028. As the Mayor of Greater Manchester, Mr. Burnham is not a sitting MP.